Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Michelle's Weekly Motivational Moments. I'm Michelle, and I'm so honored to have that you've joined me today. If you've been on a journey of personal growth or leadership, you already know that being a leader isn't just about having all the answers. It's about being authentic, relatable, vulnerable, and accountable. So today we're going to dive deep into the power of vulnerability and why it's a secret weapon of every great leader. I'm sure you may be thinking, vulnerability as a leader? Doesn't that make me seem weak? And I totally get it. I used to feel that way too. Society has conditioned us to believe that leaders should be perfect, unshakable, and above reproach. But I'm here to tell you, vulnerability is your superpower. It's what helps you build trust, foster deep connections, and lead with true integrity. Because we're all flawed human beings. We're often taught that a leader should always have it all together, to be strong, to be stoic, and in control. But the truth is, no one has it all together. And when we lead from a place of authenticity, we create a space where others feel safe to do the same. No growth happens without a sense of safety, because vulnerability isn't about showing weakness. It's about showing your realness. And it's one of the things that people always say that they remember about me. It's about being honest about your journey, about sharing your struggles, and allowing your humanity to shine through. And guess what? People connect with the real you. Do you see the real me? When you're vulnerable, you open the door for others to trust you. Because trust is not built on perfection. It's built on authenticity. When you share your story, your wins, your losses, and your growth, you create a foundation of trust. Because trust isn't earned by hiding behind a mask of perfection. It's earned by showing up as your true self. You create an environment where people feel safe to be themselves, and that is where the magic happens. I've learned that when I embraced vulnerability, I built and sustained relationships that are real, meaningful, and impactful. Because vulnerability creates a space where people can show up authentically without the fear of judgment, without the fear of rejection, and without a misunderstanding. It's through vulnerability that we form bonds that go beneath surface level interactions. And I, for one, won't entertain surface level interactions. People desire to feel heard, seen, and understood. And when you lead with vulnerability, you create that space for them. So are you a safe space for people to be vulnerable? Is vulnerability easy? No, it takes courage. It requires you to step into the unknown and to share parts of yourself that make you feel uncomfortable. But let me tell you, the more you choose vulnerability, the stronger you become. Because courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means choosing to show up despite that fear. And when you lead from a place of vulnerability, you show others that it is okay to be imperfect. Perfectly imperfect. You show them that they don't have to have everything figured out. And that's when they'll feel empowered to lead from the heart. If you're wondering how you can start cultivating vulnerability as a leader, here are a few tips that can help you get started. Share your story. Be open about your journey. Let them see the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Let others see your highs and your lows and watch how they start to connect with you on a deeper level. Be honest about your struggles, because vulnerability isn't about oversharing. It's about being honest and authentic when it matters. Don't be afraid to admit when you're facing a challenge, and listen with empathy. Vulnerability isn't just about speaking your truth or dumping out your heart. It's about listening and understanding others as they speak theirs. Show empathy and let them know that you care. And then lead by example. Show your team that vulnerability is safe. Create an environment where people can express their true selves without fear of judgment. And if you get it wrong, own it and correct it. Ask for help. Even leaders need support. I often say every coach needs a coach. Every leader needs to be led. Don't be afraid to ask for help when it's needed. It shows humility and it sets an example of leadership that empowers others. I hope today's message has resonated with you because vulnerability isn't something to be feared. It's something to be embraced. It's a strength that not only empowers you, but it also empowers everyone around you. So as you step into your leadership, let vulnerability be your secret weapon and your superpower. Because remember, vulnerability leads to trust. It leads to connection, and it leads to true transformation. I want to thank you for tuning in to Michelle's Motivational Moments. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you back next week for more of Michelle's weekly motivational moments. And remember, lead with vulnerability because it's the secret weapon of all great leaders. And one of the pillars that I lead by: transparency, vulnerability, accountability, and authenticity. So go be great and lead with love.